Hey everyone, it's McDuosGirl, and today we are finally doing the end of this video, part 3. Finally got some screenshots in for you guys. I ended up taking yesterday off and not finishing or not working on this build at all because I just needed a break from it. And there was really hardly anything left. Like the first half of this video is stuff I did the other day, and the second half is stuff I actually finished up today, and there was barely anything, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it because I had just been working on this video for so long. And I had to take a break, and my next video is definitely going to be something significantly smaller, but I'm going to try to make it cool for you guys so it's not something too boring. And I'm probably going to work on another starter home, like a base game starter home, but I'm going to try and make it something a little bit interesting. Maybe like something that's all underground. Maybe it won't be a starter home, but I definitely want to try and work on something that's maybe all underground, or maybe a tree house or a beach house. I want it to be something cool, but I want it to be small. I'm probably going to work on something very quaint again, sort of like my cottage build, because it's probably going to be a while before I undertake something this huge again, just because it got a little overwhelming trying to get this done as fast as I did. But you can see right here I'm working, I'm finally doing all the interior. I'm all done with outside. I think I might work on like one balcony, but I'm all done with outside. Right now I am doing the library. I wanted to make a really fancy library, something that's just all books. There's no electronics in here except for the computer, so if you had a sim that was maybe in the business career or something, this would be like his office or something like that. And I wanted to make it really old-fashioned looking. So I was going to put more plants up on top of those bookshelves, but I already have so many of those in the house. I was like, oh, I'm kind of overdoing it a little bit, so maybe I won't put those up there. I almost didn't have the video out to you guys today because in my area there have been tons and tons of like really bad thunderstorms and tornado warnings and tornado watches and stuff, and I had the computer shut down for most of the day today because I thought that maybe the power was going to go out, and luckily the weather's kind of died down a little bit outside. It's still sprinkling rain a little bit, but it's not too bad. But we were getting some pretty significant lightning earlier, and I was like, oh no. So I thought this was going to be yet another day late, but luckily it's died down a little bit. Everything's quiet, and I'm able to do the narration so I can upload this to you guys tonight. And I always start my uploads right before I go to bed because I live in an area where we don't get super fast internet because I'm in sort of a rural community. And my uploads take a very, very long time. So I usually start them before I go to bed, and I'm just hoping to God that we don't get like a power outage or anything tonight because I really want to be able to publish this for you guys tomorrow. So anyway, here I am finishing up the entranceway. I really wanted the entranceway to be very grand. I mean, obviously there isn't a lot in there. Your Sims probably won't spend that much time in this particular room, but I really wanted that wow factor when you first walk into the house. There's a couple chairs, a bookcase, but I mean, you're not going to be spending a whole lot of time in this room, so I didn't try to overdo it too much. And I believe, nope. Not yet. So right now I'm working on the actual family living room. So this is, you know, like the informal living room where just the family of Sims would probably hang out for a majority of the time. There's a TV. I put a computer in here. It's not, you know, as fancy as the other rooms. So I mean, it's not something you know you'd entertain guests or anything in. So I didn't put too much kind of fancy stuff in this room. I just wanted to keep it very informal, and the bathroom's, you know, right behind it. So I mean it's still really nice. It's just like not as formal as most of the other rooms in the house. And believe it or not, for a house this big, this is actually only one of 3 TVs, I think, in the entire house, which I think for a house this big isn't really all that much. There's one in this room. I have one in a gym that I put in upstairs that could easily be converted into another bedroom if you were going to download this house for a very large family of Sims. And then there's a child's TV upstairs in a children's bedroom, just one of those little teeny tiny ones. And I had thought about doing maybe a home theater room or something like that, but it wasn't something I wanted to put kind of in the main first floor of the house, and I didn't really want to put a theater room on the second floor because that's kind of weird. And by the time I had the idea, I'd already had most of the house built, and I didn't want to have to put in a basement and then figure out where the stairs were going to go down to the basement. At this point, I'd been working on it for so long, I just didn't want to add more work because it was taking me so long just to get this done, and I'm ready to start working on new projects now. So that's something I had thought about but did not put in. And here I was trying to put in some kind of a stoneway fireplace, and I tried like a zillion different things, and I end up deleting it because I don't like any of them. And this room here ends up being the very last room that I work in the house. The actual tower that I have going up to technically the third floor, I was talking about in an earlier video how it kind of sticks out from the rest of the house, and I had to put a room up there rather than a balcony, which I had originally wanted. I wanted a widow's peak up there, but I couldn't do it, and I tried so hard to put a staircase leading up there, and it didn't work. So unfortunately there is not a separate room up there. I ended up just taking the floor out and making the balcony underneath it have a very tall ceiling, and it has a chandelier that hangs down. So I mean, it still looks nice, but unfortunately it just wasn't a usable room. I could have, screwed around with everything and gotten it to work, but I think the only way I would have been able to do that is to put like a staircase on the outside of the house, on the side of the house, kind of like a fire escape or looking kind of thing. I mean, not really a fire escape, but that's what it would have had to look like. This is me trying to struggle to get this stairway in so that room would be usable, and it wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to take the time to have to try and figure something out to get a staircase up there for a very small room that honestly the house didn't really need, because the house is just so massive. There's so many rooms in there. I just figured, if somebody downloaded this and they really wanted a room up there, they could build a staircase on the outside of the house or something to get a stairway up there. But really, that room's just going to be on the house on the outside just for show, more than anything, because by this point, I just could not get a stairway up there that I wanted to put in. And you might have noticed when I was putting the wallpaper on the half wall, I only put wallpaper on one side, just the inside of it. It's the half wall surrounding the staircase on the second floor. And I noticed when I'm in the middle of doing screenshots that the other side of it does not have wallpaper on it. It was just drywall. I do fix that. So if you do download this house, it is fixed. There's wallpaper on the other side of that half wall. And I was actually surprised because when I went in to do testing before I made this house available for download, everything worked. I thought for sure I was going to have like counters in the way of like the shower, or there was just going to be something that didn't work, that wasn't usable, that I had something in the way, because that always happens. It happens on like my starter homes. It happens on everything. There's always one thing that I like rotated the wrong way, or something's blocking something else and the item's not usable. I wasn't like super thorough when I was testing this house. I just very quickly had my test sim go around and just make sure all the appliances were working, that you could use the fridge, the oven, all the toilets, the showers, the bathtubs, all the chairs, and the outside bar and stuff like that. And as far as I could tell, everything works perfectly. And right here I'm working on the children's playroom. So there is a child's bedroom right outside of this playroom, but I really wanted like a separate room just for children's toys. Just in case, someone was to download this house and they had more than one child, they could have the actual bedroom have more beds and stuff in it, maybe another desk. And so there's room in there for more than one child, and then they have a separate room just for a playroom. And so instead of doing the wallpaper that I've kind of been using on every wall in the entire house, just in different colors, I really wanted to put these little decals on the wall, so it kind of looked like daytime on 3 walls and nighttime on another wall. So I have some bunnies on there, some trees, clouds, the moon, and then a couple of dinosaurs. I really wish there was other animals besides like bunnies and dinosaurs. I really would have liked to have like bunnies and maybe like a deer or a dog or something. I think the dinosaurs look a little strange, but I mean, I'm still pretty happy with how it came out. I've never done a child's playroom quite like this before, and I was actually really proud of it. And surprisingly, it's my favorite room in the house, is this little child's playroom, which is kind of odd for this giant, grand Victorian house with like a parlor and this outside bar and everything that I worked for so long on, and hours, and my favorite room was the child's playroom that took me like 10 minutes to do. So in here, I'm putting basically just the essentials. I wanted to make it look a little bit cluttered because it is a child's room. So, I mean, most of the room doesn't really have any rhyme or reason. There's just kind of like furniture kind of thrown around everywhere. It doesn't really make any sense. And then I I could have put more clutter on the floor, but I just didn't really want it to look too messy in there. I went with like an orange theme. I wanted to keep it semi-neutral for a male child sim or a female child sim. It was going to be either this or green, but I found that there was more options in this yellowy orange color. And I put in like an orangish looking rug, and the wallpaper ends up being a blue color because I wanted that offset from blue and orange. I think it looks really nice. I mean, it's not like a really dark blue, but it does have a blue hue to it. And I think it makes it all the orange in the room stand out a little bit more. But like I said, this room is definitely large enough to put another bed, maybe another dresser, and another desk in if you did have more than one child sim that was going to be occupying that room. And it was an odd-shaped room to work with because the layout of this house is so strange. There is another bedroom that I turned into a teens room. Everything is pink in there, but you could easily change it to like all blue or all green or something, or maybe all red if you had a male teenager that was going to be in that room, or a young adult even. But it is decently small in there, and that room is actually where the that one balcony I was talking about kind of goes off of. I thought it was kind of neat that every single bedroom in this house has its own private balcony. Which I don't know how I'd feel if I had like a child sim and they had like a balcony outside of their room. I think I'd be a little iffy about that, but it's The Sims, so it doesn't really matter. Because there were so many balconies on the outside of this house, and I really wanted every room to have a private balcony because I think that's pretty cool. So now I'm doing the bathroom off of the master bedroom. It's not as grand as the one that I put downstairs is. I still put some columns in there because I wanted it to be a little bit fancier. But I mean, it's just like a normal bathroom. It's not anything like as showy as the one downstairs because it's right off the master bedroom. So I mean, they're the only ones that are going to be using it. And I really didn't want to have to screw around with trying to do all the stuff that I did downstairs in the downstairs bathroom. And here I'm doing the gym, easily convertible into another bedroom if you need it. I wanted to do everything green in there because I feel like if I was going to have a gym in my house, I'd want everything to be green because green is kind of like an energizing color. But unfortunately for the treadmill and the weight machine, and I think even the punching bag, they didn't have a green option. So I went with blue instead. Because I wanted this room to be a little bit more modern, just because it's like a home gym. You're not really going to have guests in like the home gym. It's something you'd have to upgrade when you moved into the house to convert a room into a home gym. So I didn't want it to look as kind of old-fashioned as the rest of the house. And here I'm finishing off the master bedroom. This room was really, really large, so I ended up putting a little bit of seating and stuff when you first walk into the room. Just because I didn't really know what to do with that really large space right when you walk into the room. So I just put some couches and like a rug and stuff in there. I mean, I could have made it into another room, but I didn't really know what I would have made it into. I could have made it into another bedroom, but I didn't want to have to like reconfigure the other rooms that I had already finished and stuff because I didn't realize how big it was going to be until after I started putting like all the dressers and everything in. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to do with the rest of this? And this was the only balcony I hadn't furnished previously, so I just put a couple chairs and things out there. So, I mean, if you got up in the one of your Sims got up, they could sit outside in the morning and kind of overlook the pool and the view from the backyard. And I thought that was really cool. That's definitely something I'd love to have in my own house. So I put it in this house instead. So coming up here, I'm going to put in a painter's easel, and you might see a cut because I was looking for that specific table that has kind of the painter's palette and stuff on it, and I couldn't find it. I was looking for it forever. I looked through everything. I could not find it, so I ended up cutting out a little bit just because it took me so long to try and look through all this stuff, and I still couldn't find it. I ended up finding a couple tables that I wanted to put in other places in the house, but not the one I was looking for, so that's probably why you saw a cut there. And after this, I'm going to be working on the kind of the top of the stairs from the entranceway that goes up to the second floor and the teens bedroom. And then right after that, I'm going to be going downstairs and doing that sort of parlor room that I was talking about. And down there, it's basically just more seating. I end up getting a fireplace in there, but nothing like I had originally wanted to do. I did want to put some columns and stuff around it, but if you had watched one of my previous videos when I was talking about putting columns in around the clawfoot tub in the bottom floor, when I try to connect it to the walls, the game kind of makes it its own room, and it was glitching out the trim on the outside of the house again. And this trim was just giving me so many problems, so that's why there's nothing all that fancy around the fireplace downstairs, but the parlor room does end up looking really nice. Anyway, we're getting pretty close to the screenshot, so I'm going to leave it here. If you want to download this house, you can find me on the Sims 4 gallery. My origin ID is Cyberbot99, but if you go into the Sims 4 gallery search under hashtags and type in hashtag McDuosGirl, you can find all of my builds there, and feel free to download them and modify them in any way you wish. This is base game, so if you don't have any game add-ons, this one is available for you. My Facebook and my Twitter are linked. Sometimes on my Twitter I will put up little previews of stuff I have not yet uploaded onto to YouTube, so you can find those there. So if you want to see those, definitely follow me on there. And if you have any suggestions for houses you want me to recreate or a picture, you can leave those on my Twitter, and I can see about trying to recreate those. And definitely subscribe if you want to catch more of my speed builds. I'm going to be uploading it at least 2 a week, and that's on a busy week. So if you stuck around for all 3 of these long videos for this huge house, thank you very, very much. I'm so glad, because I worked really hard on this. And anyway, guys, I'll stop talking your ear off now, so you can enjoy the rest of the screenshots. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you later.